Hi everybody and welcome to the Laughter Crafter channel. It's really good to be with you again. Well, this week we've got something that's quite fun and really pretty and very easy to make. And it's this little arrangement of dried flowers in a vase that I picked up at the op shop. It's quite pretty, isn't it? Very easy. So here's our limerick for this week. Why not make this arrangement of flowers? It's so sweet and it won't take you hours. Add some stones and a bow, which you don't have to sew. Then sit back and wait for all the wowers. I know wowers isn't a word, but hey, not much rhymes with flowers. Anyway, that's it. And we're going to have fun making this today. So I thought I'd tell you a joke. Okay, I've got my little friend Emma here, so I'll tell her the joke. She hasn't heard it. Okay, Emma, I got kicked out of the local park recently. Do you want to know why?
Okay, why?
Well, I was there and there was a whole bunch of koalas sitting on the branch of the tree, and I decided to put them all in order of size, from the tiny weeny baby one right up to the mummy one. And the ranger came along and he told me off and he kicked me out of the park. And I said, but why are you kicking me out of the park? And he said, for criticizing. Okay. So these are the things that we're going to need to make our little vase of artificial flowers. So I picked up this little jug from the op shop, the thrift shop, and I think that will make a nice little vase to work with. Nothing fancy, and it only cost me, I can't remember, maybe $1 or $2, so that's great. I thought I would put some little stones in the bottom of it. It's got quite a narrow neck, this vase, but I've made sure all these little stones fit in, so I'll pop those in there as well. Of course, the main thing that we're going to put in the bottom of our vase, along with those stones, is the epoxy resin. It's a two-part epoxy. The resin and the hardener go together, so we'll demonstrate how to do that. And that gives the look of water sitting in the bottom of this, so it looks like it's a vase of fresh flowers, but in fact it dries rock hard and clear and looks a bit like water. So that's our resin. These are the flowers I've chosen to put in, these little pale pink roses. They've got wire stems, so I've got my little cutters there in case I need to shorten these, and a few pieces of dried leaves. And I forgot to mention, you need something to stir the resin with, get all the mixture mixed up together, the two parts, and you don't want to get it on your hands, so I've got some little disposable gloves here as well. So I've got an old, well, a new actually, chopstick. That's for stirring when I make the resin mixture up, and the gloves to wear. And lastly, I thought I would put some of this Hessian mesh around the vase when it's finished. So I've got these little stones in the bottom of my little vase, and here are the two parts to the resin. The resin is the part A and the hardener is the part B, and it's really important to make sure that you put equal amounts in to your cup to mix around. And you'll see that I've already used quite a bit of this, but I've already checked. I'm not sure if that's visible, but there is actually the same amount. There's about this much left in each bottle, equal amounts. So I'm going to go ahead and pour these into my clean disposable cup. Make sure that I pour all of it out. And take the time to let it all run out. I don't need to put too much of this resin into the bottom of this little vase. I've already got some stones in the bottom, and that is going to raise the volume up a little bit. But really, if you think about it, a vase of flowers doesn't have to have heaps and heaps of water in it. So this is all the resin that I have left, and so I've finished off those bottles. Now I take my little chopstick, my stirring stick, and I'm going to just stir this really, really well. It's important that this is mixed well together. I'm not going to stir like a crazy person and get bubbles in it. I just want to stir it so that it's well mixed. And so that just takes a minute or two. I'm not going to use a funnel, even though the mouth of this isn't very big. I'm just going to pour it carefully, because if I used a funnel, that would probably waste some of the mixture. Not only that, I would have to throw the funnel away, because, you know, this stuff is not something that you want to get on any cutlery that you ever want to use again. So this will be thrown away, this little stick. This cup will be thrown away, these gloves will be thrown away. So now I'm going to carefully pour this in through that mouth of the vase. And just take my time. I might get that stick in there as well to help it all come out, and I'm making sure that I'm not running down the side of that vase. Might not be easy for you to see it right now, but you'll see it in just a minute. There is still some coming out of this cup, little dribbles. So I want to get it all out, not waste any. And that's looking quite good. And then the thing about this resin and hardener mixture is that I usually like to give it about 48 hours to harden. That's pretty empty now. And so you can see that the mixture is sitting in the bottom there. But we don't let it harden just yet. We want to put our little flowers in. So I'm going to start with these leaves. Let's move that empty box. We don't need that. I'll start with these leaves. And I'm going to pop those in there. Because if I start with the leaves, they're going to help to prop up the flowers. And I want them sort of hanging out just a little bit. And you can turn them around. These have got wire on the inside, these little stems. So you can bend them the way you want them to make them look a little bit more natural. It's looking a bit crazy at the moment, but we'll keep working. We're going to shove those flowers down as well. Now, all of you people out there who are flower arrangers might be looking at this saying, oh my goodness, what's she doing? What's she doing? Well, you know what? You just do it your way. You do you. And I'll continue on. And actually, I don't mind this at all. I think it's quite pretty. Now, some of these stems are a little bit short. That's how they were when I bought them. So they may not actually go all the way down into that resin. However, I actually quite like the look of that. I left one of the little leaves out, so let's pop that in now, down the side. There we go. Right, I don't mind that at all. This one needs to probably get shoved in a wee bit further. So what do you think? I quite like that. So now that they're in there, I'm going to let that resin dry for the next 48 hours probably. If you wanted to, you could add some little pieces of, sprinkle of glitter into that resin before you put the flowers in, of course. If you wanted to do that, you could do that. Or you could just leave it like that. I'm going to leave it like that and let all of this harden for the next 48 hours, and then we'll come back and decorate around the middle of the vase with some of that Hessian mesh. So there we go. Well, here's the little dried flower arrangement all finished. The resin in the bottom, resin and hardener mixture has all gone hard, and so it looks great. All I'm going to do now is wrap some of this Hessian around the middle of it. It's got a little handle there, so I'll just take that through there. And it's quite rough looking, but that's part of its charm. So I'm just going to wrap it around and tie it like so, and you know, you could glue on with a glue gun, you could glue on some other little flowers or shells or anything you wanted if you wanted something else there. But I quite like that. I want to keep it fairly rustic and simple. It's got the addition of those little stones down the bottom as well. So I'm quite happy with that. There we go. That was a really quick and easy one for today. So if you haven't already experimented with the resin, then it's a really easy thing to do. Lots and lots of uses. You can use it for putting a hard varnish over the top of your decoupage, or like something like this. It's really great. Make sure though that you keep it out of the reach of children, because you don't want them touching it or definitely putting it in their mouth. So always use protective gloves and that sort of thing when using it, and disposable things like the cup and the stirrer and that sort of thing, just as I did. Okay, but that's it finished, and it's quite sweet. Okay. Well, there you go. I hope you're going to have a go at this. Use any vase that you have at home, or something that you pick up like I did from the op shop, and it looks quite pretty. Good little present for someone too. It doesn't cost a fortune. Well, do all the usual things this week. Go onto the channel, like, subscribe, share it with your friends, put up your comments, put up your photos, suggest things that you might like to see me make, and I'll have a go at them, okay? So until next time, have a fantastic week laughing and crafting, and I'll see you soon. Bye.